Hey, good evening everyone. Bit different this week. It's not X-Wing based-ish, sort of. So what we're doing tonight is we've got an advanced copy of Battlestar Galactica Starship battles with spaceships that go pew pew.
Pew pew.
We're going to try. We've had a quick look through the rules for the last hour.
Some of us have.
Some of us have, because some of us. Yeah. And we're going to try and we're going to do the basic game first. That it lets you into a.
Yeah, there are three levels to play this at. One is the quick play, where you get the very basics of the manoeuvres. The next one is the complete game, and then there is about 8 pages of optional rules to use as well. We will not get to the optional rules.
We struggled with the advanced.
Yeah, which hopefully will come across on screen, and you'll see what
How
we're
we
trying to show. Yeah.
So we're going to go to the overhead view. We've got a couple of things to show you before we go into the actual game itself. We're going to explain a couple of bits, the cards, the mini dashboards, and stuff like that. And we can show you what bits and pieces there is. We have got a video already up of what comes in the box, so if you want to have a look at what's in the box, you can pop and have a look at that, and we'll switch over to the other bit. He says. So that's the table set up for today, and we also have the giveaway later on. We've got a box full of everyone's names in there, and it was for the giveaway on ProTech models Facebook page, and it was for a set of shiny upgraded shield tokens, a set of the upgrades themselves, and we were going to do, if we hit over 2,000, I think it was 2,000 subscribers, we would do the Falcon. Unfortunately, we didn't hit that, so we're just going to give away the bits and pieces from the shields and the shield tokens for today, and we're going to save the other prizes for another event. So we'll start by showing. Let me get that straight. No, there we go.
Yeah.
So
we'll start by showing the basic, the base of the ship. So again, this was in the boxing, but in terms of the rules. So what you've got is you've got 2 yellow line markers. You've got a 0 and then a dash at the back. The idea is these are used as part of your manoeuvres. So you align your manoeuvres up with these dashes at the front and the back, and then that will determine how your ship moves in game. Also, your ship would start orientated at the front with the 0. And then, in the more advanced games, you can rotate your ship so you can be shooting one way and then drifting another way in space, which sounds really cool. When you're reading the rules for it, it still sounds cool, but sounds complicated, but it's actually not once you get your hands on the models and actually are able to
put them on the table
and do it. It seems a lot easier, but we'll do that in our second game. The other part is the dashboard, and I will let Lee explain this a little bit because there is lots of bits that are complicated for it. However, Lee only has to explain one little part, so that's nice and easy.
Well, it's not. There's a few bits. The first bit is something that I do like about it, is the tab at the top. So these tabs come out and they match up to the tabs on the ship. There we go. So you don't necessarily need a lot of the dashboards, just a lot of the tabs for the amount of ships that you're playing with. The other part, the main part that we're going to use today, is this side, which is the speed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options. You have stop, speed 1, speed 2, speed 3, FTL, which isn't getting used, and reverse, which we've just used and was pretty good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed going backwards, which is strange. The other bits are for the more advanced. We'll come to them. Should we explain them now? Just
No, explain them later on.
Yeah, we'll come back to them.
So the idea is that during the planning phase, you will set on your dial, on your dashboard, sorry, the speed that you wish to go. So if I decide to go with the speed 2 arrow, which you can see a little bit better if I get closer. So I choose that speed, and I would also choose these are essentially what your maneuver cards are, and you get different numbers depending on the type of ship you've got. So the Star Viper has 21. Star Viper. There's the first X-Wing reference.
Yeah. Won't be
the
last.
Viper Mark II has 21 different cards to use for that.
The Reaper. God. The Raider, not the Reaper, that's the second one in about 2 seconds, also has 21 cards.
I thought you said there was 33.
That might be another restart.
That might be another reference. So the idea is that during the planning phase you will set your speed in secret, you will pick these cards in secret, and then the maneuver you do will be based on the symbol here. So if I chose to do a speed 2, I would follow that maneuver line. Now the idea is that you would line it up with the front of your ship like that, and then end it
at the back.
Line it up with that, and depend on the speed you do, but you still use the same card, but as you can see, depending on the speed, you might turn a little bit more, slide a little bit more, or go faster, obviously if you are increasing speed.
Right, next bits. So we've done the ships. There's 2 different types of maneuver cards. There's the first ones, which have this symbol. They're the arrow with the lines underneath, which is a overboost card. You can use an overboost
along with a regular maneuver
and do both of them. So if you wanted to go really quick, you could do an overboost of 3 forward and then a maneuver of 3 forward. The only stipulation that you can't do is you can't take, is it difficulty level, the numbers?
G-force.
So you can't do that as an overboost, which is G-force 3, and then go into a G-force 3 maneuver. You can't exceed 4 as a combined total. So you can do a 2 and a 2, a 1 and a 3, a 4 or whatever, but you just can't go above a combined value of 4.
Quick maths.
Even I can do them.
So there are other numbers on there as well that are in this little one here. For the G-force value, we're looking at this one, which is a nice big easy number to look at. And the idea is that you have 0s, you have 1s, you will have 2s, and you'll have 3s as well.
And -1s for backwards.
That's kinetic energy.
Kinetics, yeah, sorry.
Eesh. Yeah, so it
other
begins. And the other number, again, we'll cover that later on. So the main idea is you've got that.
At the moment, the other number is just the speed that you're going. That references which one it lines up to.
Yeah, and I've mixed these up already.
Yep, I've done it. As an example, at the moment we've worked out there is a lot of cards. So that's 21 cards. There is 7 overboost. There is 1 for changing direction, which is in the later part of the game, so we'll keep that out. There is, which we've just found out, a bluff card. So if you're going 0 and you don't want to put a card down, you've got a bluff card that you can just drop down and your opponent doesn't know that you're not going anywhere. And then a wodge. I'm not going to do maths and work out.
Yeah, lots.
Lots. So
the rest of them.
21, 22, 12.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Alright, it's not Sesame Street, calm
14. Yeah. So, yeah, 14 normal manoeuvres, 7. Oh, right. Yeah, 14 normal, 7.
Yep, and then a blank. 13 normal manoeuvres, 7 overboosts, one change direction, the blank doesn't have a number on it. I realised that when I dropped one of the cards on the floor and was looking for it. Oh, the other thing to notice, just in terms of being organised and things, there is a number value at the top here, which tells you which number card it is out of the set. So you'll get one set of these for each ship. So this is now the direct equivalent to X-Wing. The idea is you'll have one deck for each ship that you are controlling, and you will pick the manoeuvres from that deck for that ship. So when we play today, we're going to have 2 Raider decks and 2 Viper decks, as we are using 2 Raiders and 2 Vipers.
Well, I've already done the amazing thing of mixing my decks up. So at this moment in time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Just throw up the technical difficulty
10,
screen and
11,
go do
12,
do
13,
do
14.
do do.
Yeah, for some reason I've got an extra card in one of the decks. So them and them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 overboost. I'm just checking I haven't nicked one of your cards before we start down that route. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That's right.
Yeah, but there's 14 in that pile.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. How have you done this?
So amazingly, I've actually got an extra card across the 2 decks. Oh, I told you. I thought I'd nicked one of your cards. So
This one's mine.
that's definitely not a Raider. So
what I've got to try and do is figure out which one this is from for mine.
So while he's doing that, I'm going to remove the dice box because we don't need that. And I am going to go to the overhead view.
Okay, there we go. Sorted.
So, hi. So, in the book, it's quoting a 30 by 30 play area. It says they advise a minimum of 30 by 30.
Yeah, the honest answer is each scenario that you would play, because in the game you get a scenario book like so, which has I think 5 scenarios that you can have.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. No, 4. 4, and then the back it talks about having a campaign, which is quite good.
Yeah.
So there's 4 different scenarios with different conditions, and different variations of each one as well. And that advises the play sort of area, but it also depends on the number of ships you're using. So for us, we've already got a nice mat, so we're just sticking with this.
We didn't explain what the cards. I'll quickly go back.
I mean, the cards can come up later on.
So,
Okay.
just a quick one. On the card, just so when we start playing, there is... basically, there's... I'll just have a look at the FTL was. There's 3...
values.
Stats values. Attack is what you've got to roll to hit, and it's as basic as that. There is modifiers plus a negative for distance, but you're basically looking to hit with 6s with 2 dice. Structure is your life. You get 15, which can drop quite rapidly. In our last game, I was down to 4 in my first round of shooting.
Didn't know that.
And then acceleration, which is more for
The complete game. So
the
we
complete
won't
game.
be doing that one for this one, but we will for our next game after this first one.
And then you get a nice picture on the back. These are unnamed pilots that we're using for the time being. We do have the Cylons don't get named pilots. They get basically AI and a level. So no, I haven't got them. Steve seems to have lost the cards, but so the Viper has 1 less structure and 1 less acceleration. So it looks like the bad guys get something a bit better to start with.
So you do have these hero cards, which again are in the optional rules. So this one is Captain Apollo, and you can see he's got different talents, different skills, and he is has different modifiers and things like that. Again, we won't be covering that because there is a lot.
Yes.
Because each one of those things that you can see in the talents each one of those is a new mechanic,
and
essentially.
an upgrade card
And an upgrade card that goes with it. But as Lee was saying, for the Cylons, they get more of an AI. So as you can see there, the list of talents is obviously a lot less because, you know, they're just stupid robots compared to well-trained and...
Wait till Scar comes along, he'll show you what to do.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, that's... Best chips.
Nice.
I did pick up on the fact that the decal work down the side. At first I thought it was just battle damage, but when I got it under a close view camera, the decals down the side, I don't know if you've looked at the decals, but all those grey marks aren't actual just grey marks, they're full text.
Yes. Oh, this is hardball.
That is absolutely tiny text of, yeah, even Steve's struggling to see it through the binoculars he's wearing. So...
Oh, so this one's Apollo ship?
Yes.
Oh, wow, it actually says Apollo on the side,
yeah.
That's amazing.
They're both different.
Yeah, so one's Hardball and one is Apollo, so anybody who's a fan of the series will know who Hardball is. I'm saying nothing about the new series.
They both have their appeal. So, for the basic game, what we decided was, using the range ruler, we're going to set up at...
In the orange band,
the orange band. And set up 2 ships and try not to fly off the edge of the board. Is there rules for fleeing the battlefield?
Just don't.
Okay. Till we know the rules.
Yeah, till we've read all the rules, don't. So we'll go through the basic, what we're doing, so we'll kind of talk about what we're doing, we'll talk about the first few, and then we'll just kind of go into it and see what damages, what happens, and may the best human actually win. So, during the planning phase, you've got your 2 dials.
Yeah.
Dashboards.
Dash.
One for each ship, so I've got A and I've got B, and I haven't got them mixed up, well done me. And I've got my decks, my manoeuvre decks, one for each one. So at the minute, we're both sort of deciding how the speed to go and what manoeuvres to do. And again, we can combine them with overboosts to go even faster. But this is all done in secret, so if you notice I put my dashboard face down. Now we're trying to figure out how the best way to do this is without it sort of damaging it or getting knocked or anything like that.
I think someone who comes up with a stand to stand them up like that might actually be onto a little winner. So
yeah, little Scrabble board style.
Yeah. Did I just? That is an up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to get so confusing with the cards. I think a little rack of cards that you can actually...
Because what I've ended up doing for mine, you can't see it on the screen, but I've put them in the different G-force piles. So I've got a pile for my overboosts, I've got a pile for the zeros, essentially 0 difficulties, 1s, 2s and 3s.
Yep, I didn't look at that. That's going to be so annoying. And by the way, this is me playing. There's no stunt doubles.
Oh yeah.
Playing an actual game, which I know a lot of people will be.
Yeah, and that is on the board. It's not Lee's head. He hasn't been decapitated.
And Ken's not here.
Oh yeah, Ken's not here. Do you think Ken would manage this game?
Can I say after I've managed the game?
Yeah, this is true. I cannot say anything because I'm barely...
Yeah. I have got my 2 stressed, difficult manoeuvre tokens.
So...
At this point, it is simultaneous. Once we've both agreed both sets of dials and stuff both cards are...
And both cards are set, and both dashboards are set.
And that we've got the A and the B the right way around.
Yep. Everything is simultaneous, so we just reveal,
splat,
and just go splat. Now there is no order of movement, so there's no kind of thing of right, that ship will move first, then mine. It all happens at the same time, but for the sake of learning how the manoeuvres work, we'll do them sort of slow.
One at a time. So I know you can't see it because of the light shining on it. I don't think it. I've gone 3 forward.
Oh, you're definitely not going to be able to see that.
Yeah. Followed by a 3 Duke.
Yeah.
Duking type maneuver.
So that first card is the overboost, which combines with the maneuver, and therefore gives them an extra sort of
inch movement.
And because he's gone speed 3 on the dashboard, he's gone along the furthest maneuver there.
Yeah.
And then that happens.
So if we can, I can have a quick.
Yeah.
So that basically shows you the other way. Other way. Keep going up.
Left is right and right is left. I'm really confused.
So yes, I've come from here, gone that way with my overboost of 3. Then I follow the 3 path and I end at the end there.
So each one of these corresponds to the speed that Lee had set on the dash. So because he set the speed 3, that was the one he was locked into. Even if he changed his mind later on, actually I want to go a little bit slower, but whichever one he chose, he would line it up.
And it follows on from
and it
that.
follows on from that one, and it connects. It's slightly different in the complete game, but for now it does work in a similar sort of way. So when you see 2 cards combining, it's the overboost combining with that. And as you can see, his G-force was only a 1 because he's not really doing any tight turns or anything like that. He's just kind of listing lazily to the right.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go left? So my Star Viper will go this one.
I'll put these cards back in the right pile.
Trying a bit more of a funky overboost. So I'm going more of a that way. And I'm going to speed 3, so again, quite fast. So I'm combining it with this and that. So my ones will end up...
You can actually see that as well. Just to say, see the line on yours.
Yeah. So if you want to have a look at... Go on the thing.
We could see it.
Oh, okay. So just to give you an idea of the different styles of manoeuvres you've got. So when Lee did his G-force was a total of 1 because he just kind of went whoop, whereas mine was a total of 4, which is the maximum you can have because I've sort of zigged that way and then zagged round that way. So I followed this path here just to do that. And again, you've got the different manoeuvres that were on there. So that now goes back into my deck pile, and we'll just do the other 2 simultaneously as per the game.
Yeah, so I overboost 3 again. The more I'm doing this, the more I'm getting used to actually
sliding the cards
really doing
around.
it quick, yeah.
Yeah. Because the one thing I will say that was very, very discombobulating the first time we did it is just these are essentially our manoeuvre templates.
And yes, we can actually come up with another, like a foosball game.
Yeah, so... let's just say Martin down. Avoid this game.
Yeah, Martin, it's not for you. Hold on, you're playing it. Oh no, there's no...
Yeah, it's the range rules that you want to watch out for me.
So, here are the fellas.
So, once we've moved...
We can shoot.
We shoot. And again, shooting is done simultaneously. But any damage that causes any long-lasting damage, like reduced attack or anything like that, doesn't take effect until the next round. So it doesn't really matter. So it's kind of like, would you like to shoot, Lee?
Yes.
Shocking that. I would also like to shoot. So yeah, let's do that.
A quick view of the range ruler. So you've got range bands on the range ruler. Very similar to X-Wing, except it's +1 to the dice result on these. You don't get an extra dice. So, range 1, you get +1. Sorry. Short
range is the red.
Medium range, and then long range. So, when I roll, if I'm shooting, or if I do have the ability to shoot the Viper, I need to roll a 6. Long range, I need to roll a 7, 6, 5. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
Now,
so the attack roll is just purely 2 dice, 2d6, and then do that. So there's no like special dice that you need for it, which is quite nice because then you can just use any funky coloured d6 you want.
While we've got this down to this sort of view, we can actually show you the slight difference in the top of the
base.
There is a V cut out, and you're told to put it on its edge. So Cogger2 will be loving this because I've martined down it. So technically what I was trying to point out is if I'm shooting at that one over there, look, it's in. I can shoot that.
Stop bending the ruler.
So, but it goes against the shaft of the peg. Shaft. So the range is measured from the shaft there. So unfortunately, I can't touch his base, and that'll be exactly the same for him shooting back.
Not after I've nudged it.
I've got to say I've just nudged it forwards as well.
Yeah.
So this round,
this one is out because again, if we measured it from the closest point on the bases, then yeah, absolutely we're in range.
Yeah.
But this one,
it is now.
This one says to measure it from the shaft in the middle of the little cutout. The cutout is also your firing arc. So again, you can see that this is me in mine, and from the overhead view, you can see that the other raider wouldn't be in my arc at that angle if I keep going like this. And then, obviously, not in range there either.
Yeah.
And I'm stalling these things. So now it's back to flying phase, just as normal. Oh god.
Oh, that's that way. Wow.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's really hard to make decisions like this.
Mm. So again, because of the way the manoeuvres are very, very different, and because of the narrowness of the firing arcs, it's very weird. And obviously, this being our second actual game, yeah, it's safe to say we don't actually know necessarily predicting because we don't know all the cards or anything yet.
When we first got to see these on, I think it was a Gen Con report, I actually thought these were just going to be 3D printed. I was a bit disappointed with what we saw, but these have come through. They were pretty strong, but yeah, they're pretty strong.
Yeah, they're fairly sturdy as long as you're not cack-handed like Lee. Oh my god, you got it to stand up.
So, there we go.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Okay, yeah, that Scrabble board idea doesn't need it now. So reveal. I mean, that's not how that one works. You said it all wrong. You said it all wrong.
So, because I've done a zero maneuver with this one, there's a card in the deck that is for bluffing.
But however, what Lee failed to say is that he actually explained it wrong and he used the wrong card.
But you can just use any of the normal. No, give me that back.
This is used for bluffing over boosts. So how the idea is that you'd have two cards if you're over boosting, and that can give away, oh well, he's over boosting with two cards. But if one of them is blank, then he's bluffing the over boost.
Or you can put it. if you were to put a 0 down, you could put any card in, and you just don't move.
Yeah. So this guy has decided to do a stop maneuver, which means he's not moving anywhere, so he's staying exactly where he is, which is absolutely fine in this game.
And
there's no consequence to it.
My other fella is doing
a speed 2
shimmy.
Okay. So my Viper on this side is doing an overboost that away. So I was trying and come around the flank. And then combine there. And I've only gone as a speed of 1. So I line up here. And I wish that one had stopped still. But never mind. So those ones are out. And then this one has done a speed 1 as well. And again, sort of duked to the side. Or bluffed to the side. And done a little wiggle. Because I honestly did not think Lee was going to stay still. So he seems to be a little bit of bother. Any magic trick, people good with the tablecloth trick would be really good at this game. Able to slide out these from underneath it.
So, shooting.
So again, simultaneously, but I'll be a gentleman and let Lee go.
I was measuring that one.
Oh, well.
So, no shot.
Shot at range, at long range.
So +1 to the dice.
And then we knock everything.
So, for him to hit, I need 7s. And 10s.
So 10. So damage, this is the funky one. And a really weird mechanic as well.
Should we show them some of the... We'll go to the closed group. So, the damage token bag, there's all kinds of tokens in there.
So these are the damage tokens that have these kind of symbols on them. The idea is that they all go into a container, something that you can't see into. And damage is picked at random. And the weird mechanic is that it is not revealed to your opponent what exactly the damage is. Because the damage has a numerical value.
It can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
or
5.
even 5.
But there is also crit, which is why I'm keeping my finger on this one. So if you take a crit,
which is this little plus symbol in the corner,
you then have to draw
an additional
token. If you draw a crit for the second time, it doesn't count as a crit. You just take the combined of the two.
Yeah. Now, the weird thing here is the fact that, let's say I draw this one, and I look at it, and I go, okay, I've got a crit, but Lee does not know that it's a value 5. He knows that it's a crit, because I'm now having to draw a second one, and then I get that one. So he now knows I've got 2 damage cards, or damage tokens, but not the value of it. So he doesn't know just how wounded that ship is. Now, because you got 0 damage counters, or 0 value, it could have no damage but 6 tokens on it. So you could be constantly going after that ship, going, right, I've got him. And secretly you actually haven't. My thing is here, is it does have a degree of honesty in it.
I also think that there is only going to be a limit of how many 0s are in the damage bag.
But also the fact that they're like the idea of, oh no, I'm not dead yet, don't worry.
I think if you get to the end of the game, you flip over and there's 32 damage, like some decimators can take. You're going to realise there was something a bit iffy and be upset with your opponent.
Yeah. So if this mechanic is reading the way it seems in terms of competitiveness, it seems like a lot of abuse could be had if this is competitive. Casual, absolutely fine, because casual player. You know, if you want to cheat casual, then
the concerns that I had were for if you are. Oh, there's a blooming 6 there. So, I've got 5 health left, and I draw that. I don't say anything. And then next turn, I take another damage, I take a 2. I don't say anything. Take another damage next turn, and I take a 3. I'm now at what? 6 over, and then I say for my next damage, that's the 6 that I got. There is room for shenanigans, but as I said, as Steve just said there, I think this is going to be more of a casual, fun game rather than anything sort of competitive. It's hard to, when you're keeping stuff in secret like that, there's ways to
fudge it and
shenanigan it. So anyway,
so for the benefit of, so I took a damage, so I draw a damage counter.
I won't lock.
And for the benefit of this, so I've got that. So yeah, the symbol you see there means a crit, which means I will draw another one out. But that is the amount. The number is the amount of damage I have taken.
I'll have a look on the video later to see what it was.
I mean, you're probably looking at the screen now.
I was looking at the screen.
Yeah. So then I draw another one. So that is my combined damage. Which Lee now knows is 6. Timing.
Because poor timing by Stephen.
This is on this ship, so that's the structure. So basically, this guy is on 6 damage, and he needs to get to 14 before he gets blowed up. But with 2 damage counters next to him, Lee, if he didn't watch the stream and be a little cheating...
No comment.
So-and-so, wouldn't know that, and he might think, oh, well, maybe he's got no damage.
So...
Shooting with the other ship.
Shooting with the other ship, knowing that he's not got any much damage, because that could be 2 zeros over there.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I've not seen any 0 crits.
No.
So it could... I would know that it has some damage, so it is going to be worth me. So,
so normal shot, so no
6s.
modifiers either way.
And 9 again.
Yeah.
So, a lucky 6 followed by a 6, and he's... Who is it? Is it Apollo? The look on Steve's face there thinks there is damage there.
Ooh, this is going to be a quick game. So that's only 3 damage counters, and
what we have learned is when the ship is destroyed, because we were thinking, oh god, the damage counters aren't going to last that long. I'm presuming each player's going to have his own damage deck, damage bag.
I believe
in the quote unquote competitive side of it.
Well, again, it doesn't say anything about competitiveness, so I'm not entirely sure on that. Again, I'm quite happy for this to be a casual beer and chips kind of night.
Yeah,
I'm apparently turning into an American.
Yeah, we do crisps quite regularly. Yeah, there is when the lads from Ares put this at Gen Con, they had a mat that goes down here that is the side of a Battlestar to launch stuff from. So I think there was like an ongoing thing where you can constantly launch Vipers out again.
So that sound I was making was me dropping half of my maneuver deck. Whoops. This game is not for the clumsy of heart.
Or the fragile of mind. Ooh, oh no. Wow.
Ooh. Oh, so the other thing to point out, which we didn't, this little token that is next to one of the raiders is a difficult token. Because Lee executed a difficult maneuver last turn, he cannot do so this turn. He can also not use an overboost unless it's a straightforward one. So, again, taking it back to the X-Wing kind of mechanics, that is the equivalent of a sort of stressful manoeuvre. So, something that limits what you're able to do in the following turns.
I've got a question that... What I'll do is you don't reveal yours, because I've just thought of something there that was quite spicy.
Okay.
But possibly cheating.
So...
Cheating.
Oh, just incompetence is...
Which is probably more... Ooh, don't need that one. Because if it's not, it's going to add quite a strange dimension to the game. I won't do that because that is cheating.
Have you remembered the 4G thing?
No.
Are they 2 overboosts? Difficult manoeuvre.
It was it. So I can only do a straight overboost with a difficult.
I just finished explaining that, Lee.
Yeah, no, I totally ignored it. Wow, there's so many difficult maneuvers. They're all difficult.
Are you sure you're looking at the right symbol?
There's not as many difficult ones as I first thought. In fact, let's not do that. Let's just have a pop at that one. So that one. Wow. Planning phase that hurts your brain. So that before we go on, right?
I'm all set.
I'll show you what I've done for this one. If it is deemed legal, I'll do it. If not, I'll then change it. So I've done a stop. A reverse.
Okay, good start.
But I've overboosted first. Then followed by the reverse. Is that possible?
I don't know, but I'll read the illegal moves bit.
So I'll just quickly have a check to see if anyone's joining us today. We have a couple of watchers. It's a good job this is recording. To play back later. And
the spaceship moves with an overboost when you planned an overboost card together with a normal forward movement card. So no, you cannot overboost
and then go
backwards. Alright, it's not a 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing.
So I won't overboost.
No.
And I'll change my manoeuvre so I'm not cheating.
In fairness to Lee, he hasn't read the rules.
I just haven't had time to do anything, let alone read rules.
Yeah, it's not like I was reading them while I was at work today during break times.
Yeah, but I work.
So do I.
During my work. Right. So,
we're good to go.
So I'm at a 2 with that one, 1 with that one, 3 with that one, and that one.
Okay. So again, we've all done the things. We could like take it in turns, but
I'll move that to that
we'll
one.
just do the things.
Wow, that's...
Where do you think I'm going?
This way.
Okay.
I thought you were going to smack into the side of me.
Alright, so I'll move my Viper because it's quite close. So I'm just doing a speed 1 for this one. So I am purely just doing that. Now, even though it was a small manoeuvre, because I turned quite rapidly, it was a difficult manoeuvre, and it was also of a G-force of 3, so it was actually quite taxing on the pilot. So he will not be able to do anything like that next go. And this blokey is doing a speed 3, and he's just trying to
come in behind.
Gently come in and try and take the guys up the jacksie.
So,
lower the tone.
I'll let you go for shooting first.
Okay, so again, it's all simultaneous, so even though my one guy here is maybe close to death, it doesn't matter, he'll still be there for now. So I'll start with the one at the back. So, normal range, and I'll shoot at B.
Yep.
You haven't taken any damage, have you?
I've not been hit yet.
Okay, that's a good start. So it's normal range, so I just need 6s. And I get exactly a 6.
I'll take a damage out of the bag.
So damage is done.
On to B, we have...
something. So it's critical, so he's taken some damage. Alright, and now I'm checking for this one here. Now Lee has the better angle of it.
No, there's no angle.
No.
No matter how much you bend it.
Shame. And I assume I'm good there.
Yeah, you're good there.
Yeah. So here, it is in my firing arc, and it is close range, so now all I need for the roll is a 5. And a 7 will do it.
Wow.
Are you trying to play poker with me?
No, it's Starship Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Oh, right, joke. Haha.
Right, I'll return fire from B.
Yep, and it is going to be
Range band 2.
range band medium,
sorry.
range.
So, needing 6s gets 9.
Yep.
Take some damages, or 0. Definitely lots of zeros left. Oh, that's a critical. So that's not 0. Are we mathing?
We are mathing. So the first damage I took in this game was a 6. Then I took a 4. Sorry, I took a 4 after taking a crit of 2. So I was already on 12 before this turn's firing. And then I took a damage of 3 as a crit. Oh, but look, I got a 0 on the last one. Woohoo! So because my structure value of 14 has definitely been exceeded with 15, poor, is this hardball? Poor hardball has been hardballed to death.
Yeah, the only downside is that I've got Apollo up my Jaxie, which
Yes.
is never a good thing.
And
Apparently.
both of his ships have damage counters on them. Whether they are anything that is, you know, good or not, who knows? And that's me dropping my cards again.
Go with that one for that. And that would be...
Yeah, you still have 2 ships to start.
Oh yes, that's right. It'll take me a little bit more.
Okay.
He's not stressed. He's not difficulty.
He's not difficulted.
I still think being able to do that reverse after a...
No.
It was a good idea though.
No.
It was most definitely a good
No.
idea. It's thematic.
No.
Raiders can...
No.
Okay. And...
Good?
So B is doing a shenanigans,
Shenanigans.
and he's doing a 3 shenanigans. So he removes his difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to stand up.
It's alright, I've got you.
Okay.
Don't you worry yourself. And I'll just put it where I want it anyway.
Yeah, straight off the edge of the board.
Yeah.
And obviously doing it in this order so I can not bump into the back of myself ish.
No.
Wrong game.
How
a
fast
one.
are you going? So
One,
you're going a 1.
Oop. Gone. Yeah, there's a lot of honesty in placing them as well, let alone...
Yeah. So again, just tournament play. If you talk about wiggle room in X-Wing, the wiggle room in this is about an entire country. I mean, this might just be a combination of the
mat.
the shiny mat and this. Sorry, the shiny.
It is a brand spanking new mat. We've only used this once before.
Oh, there you go. No, that's mine. That's probably so. Yep. Be careful with that.
So, shooting. I don't think I've got an arc on yet.
So
Nope.
try with a.
No, there's no arc.
Yeah. So no arc there. So again, it is a lot tighter than any other sort of flight path game that
We play a lot
we've
of.
played.
Not that this is a map from that game.
Yeah.
That's up in top right hand corner. So, shooting.
So I get a shot. It is at It is medium range on letter
On
D.
number B.
And I get exactly a 6 again. I would definitely rather be lucky than good any day of the week. So take a damage from the damage bag.
Which all your high ones should now be back in there.
Yes, correct. Good, important rule.
I have damage.
That seems unfortunate. So again, just look at the position of that. It's very, very tight, these firing arcs.
In X-Wing, we would have both been shooting each other. Oh, sorry, in another flight path game, we would have both been shooting each. We're going to reference X-Wing a lot in
Yep.
this, so yeah.
But the one thing that we were discussing is the fact that it does feel different to X-Wing, so it's not just as when I didn't look at the game, when I heard that they were doing something like this, I thought, oh great, there's another Attack Wing, X-Wing, Wings of Glory game.
Thing.
Excellent. Yeah, but the mechanics are very difficult to learn and get
Yes.
used to because they're very different.
I also think they're going to be. I think they're going to be interesting to learn and then quite difficult to master.
Mm.
It could be that I've just played X-Wing a lot. That gives. Yeah.
Yeah, the combination of maneuvers that you've got, as opposed to with just normal maneuver template, seems very odd.
No, not the other one. Why are they both? Are they both the same number? And I've got them mixed up. Oh, you idiot!
What, you an idiot? Never.
Yeah, I'm going to admit that one of the things that I've.
You were saying?
Idiot. That one. Idiot. Because, yeah. Two cards very...
Yeah, I believe in a lot of the rules it's kind of recommended that people don't really take control of more than 2 ships at a time. It doesn't say you shouldn't, but it also does not recommend that you should.
Tell you what I've not seen. Point values.
No, there are no point values. It's just based on the scenario
so
suggestions.
there may be no competitive play.
Yeah,
which might be a good thing.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, with the amount of wiggle room in certain things that we've seen, I think that might be for the best.
Yeah.
Because it is an enjoyable game.
So far, I've quite enjoyed it.
So there's Nova Boost with straight manoeuvre to try and get back into the fight.
And no stress. No difficulty.
No difficulty.
And this fella
Is doing it backwards.
is going backwards. You know, looking round for the templates. So, the two cards I was looking for. The reason that. Yeah.
You know what? This is a good thing that this has happened because I do believe we end up with a slight collision, which we might not.
I don't need it. Go on then.
Yeah, so collisions in this, thankfully we avoided it, but work. Shut up.
So, wasn't in arc, is in arc, wasn't in arc, could be in arc.
Yeah, collisions in this work slightly differently than some of the other ones. The idea is that you do physically overlap, and what you've got is little card template like this, which basically replace your ship, so you could have different ships on top of each of these to represent the overlaps. But as with most games, ships that have overlapped can't shoot at each other because they're too busy dodging each other to bother having a fight. So, shooting or the firing, no arc there, and no arc with this guy because God knows where he's going.
He would have been perfect.
My Viper has a medium range shot on A. I'm obsessed with saying numbers.
Number 8 isn't damaged.
And number A is not damaged.
And remains
not damaged with
oh,
my
no.
roll.
He has
3.
one damage, sorry. He has one damage token on it.
Excellent.
So,
By that you mean it's a 0.
I've got no idea what you're on about.
So Lee, would you like to call it here and try for a one with adding the kinetic energy mechanic? And even if we don't necessarily finish that one, we can at least talk about the mechanics because that's what this is all about.
Would you like to know the damage?
I would like to know the damage. Is it 0? Oh, it is 6 with a critical.
Okay.
You read that as a 9, didn't you?
I read that as a 9 with a plus down the bottom. Yeah, good. And the other one.
So we have discovered that not only is it cheating on purpose for shenanigans wise, but also stupidity and not realising it.
If you go back in the video, I did go, oh wow, and you asked if I was bluffing. No, I was just being stupid. So the other one was a 5 followed by a crit 5 followed by a crit 4. But exactly as I said to you, yeah. As what I'll do is a quick example. If this was to go to competitive, and in the drawing of these tokens, I drew the 4 followed by the 5. So because the 5 was the second one, it doesn't give another crit. And then my second turn, I drew the 4. So the thing I was thinking is, if I in fact drew the 4 followed by a 4, and then in my next turn I drew the crit, for shenanigans you could actually say, no, I got it in that order. The 4 followed by that, so it negates the crit, when in fact you should have had something like that down and possibly killed your ship. I think competitively I don't think it's going to work as such. Great game for scenarios, and I'm hoping when they release the big Battlestars and the...
Well, I believe they're talking about definitely the Raptor class, and there's a bigger, not troop, sort of troop carrier for the Cylons.
But what about the edges of the mats? They've got Cylon
base stars
and the Pegasus and the Galactica.
My God, what are they called? I know it's called the Galactica, but it's called a Battlestar. You know,
it is definitely called the
ship,
Battlestar.
The ship class is called Battlestar.
It is.
Right.
There's Battlestar Galactica, which this film and TV show
it's
is
like
based
the
on.
Star Trek Enterprise. I love the Star Trek Enterprise. That's my best ship. That's Star Trek.
So, we are going now
to go back to that camera.
Oh, go back to that.
So we're going to go to the full rules game. Well, not the full rules game. Sorry, the complete game, and we're going to add in the idea, a few more of these bits here. So this was the one that we were using earlier, and this is the one that we're going to use now. This is what's called your kinetic energy, which is essentially your inertia from your previous turn. So the idea is that in space it is very difficult to slow down. So the speed that you did your manoeuvre at last turn will set your kinetic energy for the next turn. And the idea is that in the following turn, your manoeuvre that you do, the speed of that manoeuvre cannot vary from sort of that speed range. So on the ship cards, when Lee showed you that earlier, you saw this little bit called acceleration. So the idea with acceleration is it's how easily your ship can increase speed or decrease speed. So the idea of the 3 modifier here is that my kinetic energy can be anywhere from 1, so from 4 down to 1, or up to, well, 6, because that's the maximum that you can get. Whereas the Raider has an acceleration of 4. So again, lots of bonuses for the Raider. So yeah, I'm saying nothing there. And that adds just that little mechanic into it. The other mechanic is the idea of turning and rotating. So not turning in terms of the ship. So you actually pivot your ship around so you can be flying sideways, but you are pointing guns out the side or even out the back. Which kind of opens up that firing arc quite a bit.
Which is very much like the TV show.
Yeah. So where you'd have shots of them being trailed from behind and then all of a sudden, whoop, turn around, pew pew pew, while the ship is still going in that kind of direction. Because again, these little yellow markers here are where the ship's going. This
is where it's pointing.
Is where it's pointing. And that's where you're going to be shooting from. And again, weird mechanics, as you're reading them without having the models in your hand, it is very, very confusing. Very, very, very confusing. And I felt like I actually needed a physics degree to work it out. Because it talks about your total kinetic energy cannot exceed your acceleration minus this plus this and all that kind of stuff. And having not actually had my hands on any of the models, had no idea what any of that meant.
I went to the simple route and quit and let Steve work it out for us.
Yeah, so if I get any of this wrong, I apologise. But yes, so we're going to do the same thing, just slightly different mechanics. Or additional mechanics in the planning phase and the manoeuvres. Okay, so this time when we're setting our dashboard, we're not only going to be deciding our speed, but we're going to be, we set at the beginning, we set our kinetic energy
to 0.
To whatever you want.
Oh.
At the beginning of the round, you can set it to whatever you like. And you can again set your rotation to whatever. So you've got the 0 pointer right at the front, that is aligned with your ship. Now, if we decide to change that, after you execute your manoeuvre, you're going to be pointing in that direction. And then that'll have potential consequences next turn, but hey ho. And don't forget about your manoeuvres.
They give me my kinetic for next turn.
They give you your kinetic for next turn, so it's essentially thinking of forward planning.
Yes. Planning of the forwardness. Yep. Dropping of the cards.
Is anything burning?
Probably.
Okay, that's fine.
We're not on fire, don't worry about it.
I'm just checking.
So that and that. The tone of that. Is that that's one of them?
Oh, let's also add in these bluff cards, because why not?
What do you mean?
Also,
Oh, rotation card.
we have rotation cards. So when we rotate our card, rotate our ship, we set it on the ship, on the dashboard. And later on, in order to reorientate ourselves to 0, to be pointing the way the ship's meant to be going, you need to use or plan a rotation manoeuvre, which no doubt we'll get to at some point. You know, showing mechanics and all that.
I think having another couple of games at some point to, try and get more used to this side of the mechanics.
Yeah.
And also find some way of, I don't even know which set those cards are from now.
I genuinely can't find some of my manoeuvres.
Do you want me to check my cards? Because I tend to pick up Viper manoeuvres. Nope, don't have them.
Good job these are numbered. Okay, I am set. Are you?
Yes, I'm good. So,
now with the full player rules, you have essentially what is 2 movement styles. So instead of just combining the cards straight away, what you do is you would use 1 card first. You would do your 1 maneuver, and then you would get a chance to use your second one afterwards. Now, if you only set 1,
you only get 1 crack of the whip.
Yeah.
So what Steve's saying is basically when we're closer together, you get the opportunity to do your overboost manoeuvre, putting the ship to the end.
Yeah. So because we've all done an overboost, we all do the overboost first. So we move, go to the end, and then it's there. We move, go to the end, it's there.
Do we then not put it down off the card?
Hmm?
Do we then not put this one down off the card?
In the second bit, yes.
Yes.
So you move.
So pulling the card away isn't technically the best idea.
But you can put it back.
Yeah. So we would now get the opportunity
So now, after our first sort of overboost cards have been done, but we can also use the change direction card, which we pointed out there. Or if we've only set 1 manoeuvre, we'd only do that 1 manoeuvre once, and that's it. We get an opportunity to fire. So the idea is, I've got an opportunity to fire here, and I know that my next manoeuvre is going to take me out.
Yeah.
But obviously we're out of range now, so we don't fire. We then execute our next manoeuvre, and we do that
by continuing it on.
By continuing it on from the first one. So again, it seems a little bit complicated, but it again matches up with the speed that you did before, and all that kind of stuff.
So you're basically interrupting your movement to perform a shot halfway through it. You don't get to shoot again.
Yeah, you only get 1 opportunity. Do not put your cards away just yet, because you need to explain the idea of kinetic energy. So that is a new sort of bit. The kinetic energy. Do you want to swap to the other camera? So the kinetic energy is these smaller numbers. If we can focus on it.
Pull it back.
Pull it back.
There you go.
Yeah, so these small numbers here. So depending on which one you executed, you add your combined total of the manoeuvre that you did that turn. So for me, this ship did the full fast 3. So that's a 3 kinetic energy. And I also did a 3 overboost. So I did a combined kinetic energy of 6, which I could do because it was within my original set of 3 plus my acceleration of 3. So now my kinetic energy is up to 6 because I did a 6 speed manoeuvre essentially. What that means is next turn my manoeuvre must be within this little gap here because my acceleration is only 3. My next speed cannot be lower than 3 because my inertia is taking me really quite fast, so I can't actually slow down quickly enough, which isn't too much of a problem for if you well out the fight. But if you are up close trying to do some dogfight and you've just done a really fast manoeuvre,
you're going sailing past.
You're going to go sailing past. So we set our kinetic energy for each one, which determines our next turn as well.
So mine are all set at 6.
Yes, but your acceleration is a 4, so you can do anything. Your minimum will be a 2.
So we're not restricted to... So it's the speeds in the big boxes that we're doing?
Those are the G-forces, which still apply. So the big number...
is the speed on the down. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, so the big number that's there. That's our G-force, which still cannot go over 4. But it's the little numbers here that is our kinetic energy.
And that determines the speed that we're going. So I have to put in a minimum of 2.
Yeah, so your slowest manoeuvre. So if you set this as your manoeuvre, you could not do that first one.
Yeah,
because you're going too fast.
Yeah,
but you could do it too. Now my ship that's got a 6 could only do the 3 because my acceleration isn't good enough to slow down enough. So which one was this from?
So to dial in can you boost and rotate? Can you overboost, move and rotate?
If you set a rotate, you rotate after your first movement option, and then you fire as you would. And then once you've rotated, you then basically follow. There are certain rules that apply. Essentially, your speed is just taking you forward. Do you want to swap cameras back?
Oh. I might get this totally wrong, so...
Oh, I 100% will as well. So now not only have you got all these options on the cards, but you've also got your orientation of the ships, and you're also now minimised in what you can do. So you can't just go from flying straight into, I will just go 1 forward to victory. X-Wing reference.
Hurting brain, muchness. So I am going to attempt.
Whoa, Nelly.
Shenanigans. Well, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. Probably off the board, but...
Yeah, that'll be funny. Are we good?
Well, there is something going on.
Yeah, so you'll definitely see some things. Whether it probably will not be a, oh, brilliant, we've all turned around things. This is beautiful. So, again, because it's all simultaneous normally, we will do that. So we do our overboost manoeuvres first, or our one and only manoeuvre if we've only got one. So we do our overboost.
So what about direction change?
So you mean the rotation?
The rotation.
You rotate after this one.
So I do my 2 forward. To there.
Yep. And then you rotate it so that your arrow lines up with the pip that you have pipped. Yeah. I mean, you could have just you could have just done a gentle bank in, right?
But we're trying to explain this.
Yeah, that's why I did this crazy maneuver. So this guy is doing a big 3 overboost, which ends him here. But what he's also doing is he's rotating his arc to what is essentially 20 minutes. But he is going that direction, but his ship is pointing that direction. Yes, I know. This one is overboosting forward just like this, and here, because he's pointing the right direction, he's not going to bother doing any other bit. So we've all done our overboost from this one.
Oh,
yeah. You're going to speed 3. What on earth was that? That's 1 too far. Yeah, so each on the dial, it's got little sort of every sort of 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a clock, which matches up with the base template as well. I'm really confused.
I was covering you going that way.
Oh, you covered me going that way, right? Okay, that's fine.
I actually covered you going both ways.
Right, so now, even though we still have some manoeuvres to do, I am going to take an opportunity to shoot.
I am also going to take an opportunity to shoot before you go out of distance.
Yeah, so we'll go with your Raider first. So your Raider onto my Viper here. So that is going to be long range. So you are at -1. There are also new modifiers. So if the attacker's kinetic energy is 5 or more, you subtract 1 from the roll. So what is your kinetic energy from the manoeuvre you've just done? Because it gets reset each time you do the manoeuvre.
2.
2. So your kinetic energy needs to go down to 2. My kinetic energy for this guy needs to go up to 3 because up to 6 because it goes straight away. I believe so. At the start of the set, your thingy. As soon as the first plan card for the turn is revealed, adjust your kinetic energy. Yeah, so all of your kinetic energy is adjusted straight away.
3.
So mine's up to 6. So it's all good. If the target's kinetic energy is 4 or more, subtract 1 from the roll. So
it's moving quick, it's harder to hit.
Yeah, so my ship here is moving really, really fast, so it's harder to hit. But it's also at long range as well, so it's really harder to hit. So you would normally need 6s.
8.
But now it's 8s because there's 2 modifiers applied to it.
Double 6. Or 5.
5. So that doesn't get it.
Even with a normal shot, it didn't get it.
Yeah. So for me, I am going to actually shoot at this guy here, who is in normal range, in medium range. Sorry. What's his kinetic value?
6.
6. So
8s. You're going quick as well.
Because I am going quick as well. I forgot about that. So I am going really fast. So my modifier is -1 to my dice roll. He is going really fast as well. His kinetic energy is higher, so therefore it's -1 as well. So instead of 6s, I need 8s. And this time I actually managed to meet it, so I get a 10.
So on 2, that I've been getting
Yeah, okay.
So
Onto that one. On the one on that side. What are you doing? Oh, are we doing our next?
No. Stop moving now.
Okay.
No, don't.
No,
Just ignore me.
Yeah, just ignore it. And just change your dials. Professional at work. Kinetic energy on that one is 2. So that one's 6, this one's 2. There we go.
And then I need to finish off.
No problem whatsoever.
This one's maneuver.
I'm not going to shoot with this Viper. Therefore we go back to our back to doing manoeuvres.
Yeah.
So our second manoeuvre cards, which doesn't apply for this one, but does for these 3.
I just need to mark that, don't I?
Yeah. So this guy, even though again his ship is pointing in this direction, the manoeuvre I've set to do takes him all the way back here. So he's kind of gone in, pivoted, done a shot, and now he's heading back out of the fight. Looking cool while he's doing it. So now he'd next get an opportunity to shoot for anything that hasn't. This guy has, this guy has. This guy has, this guy has. This one does not have a shot. My other Viper will take a long range shot at A. My kinetic energy is 6.
So is mine.
So is yours. So again,
9.
it's 9 this time. So there's -1 for that going fast, -1 for that going fast, -1 for being long range. And I'll roll a 10 again. Read it the right way up this time.
I
Alright.
can categorically state that wasn't a 9.
Okay. So, then it is back to the thingies. Now, do you remember how this works? Okay.
They're both at angles.
They're both at angles. So the idea when you are at angles... So, where is it? So, limitations for rotated starships. When starships begin a turn rotated, you are limited in your choice of manoeuvres. So you can either use inertial movement, which is basically you can go the same direction that you're going in by only planning straight manoeuvres, or without a straight overboost. With or without a straight overboost. So you can still overboost, but only in a straight line. The chosen card must match the current kinetic energy of the spaceship. Therefore, if the kinetic energy is 0, no card is used and the spaceship stands still. You can leave the rotated dial as it is, or you can turn it to a different position to give a new orientation to the spaceship. So you can still rotate, but you are only travelling in a straight line because you're not able to actually rotate or go anywhere. And not forgetting you also have the stop manoeuvre. You can also change direction, so that is where you use the change direction. Basically, this reorientates your ship back to
straight on.
Straight on. Oh, sorry. You change this so that the base is now pointing the direction the ship is pointing.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know if that explained that well.
Yeah.
So because this guy's pointing this way, if I did the change direction one, the ship is going this way, but it can rotate that way. It is difficult to do when you're trying to look at that one as well. And you have the drift counter as well if you're changing direction. So let's see if we can do it.
So you have to do it the speed of your inertia. So if I'm at 6, how do I do a speed 6?
So in your inertial movement, your spaceship keeps moving into the same direction as the previous turn. You cannot modify the spaceship's kinetic energy. The chosen card must match the kinetic energy of the spaceship. Therefore, it's not about deceleration or acceleration because you're not.
Yeah, but
your thrusters aren't pointing anywhere.
Yeah.
So you are going 3 and 3. So you're doing a straight 3 boost and then a straight 3. Yeah. Or you're probably going to be changing direction. Just thinking about that one.
So you wouldn't have to set that if you're doing your inertial thing, would you?
Excuse me?
So, because if you use your inertia, yeah, and keep it at 6, I've got to do the 3 and the 3.
Yep.
So I wouldn't need to set that, would I?
Yes, you would, because you still need to, because that counts as an illegal move.
So it would be your 3 to
Yeah,
get the...
yeah. So you still have to set it, because you have to understand that's what you're doing. So
And if anyone can see my table, my cards are totally messed up, so...
Yeah.
So that's A.
Ooh, I am going rather fast.
Yeah, I've just noticed that as well. I'm going to paint one of them up as scar. I don't care. I want my scar.
Okay, Oh, it is difficult to turn around when you're going fast.
Yeah.
So sorry, I haven't.
Yeah, there's always one. See how many we've got on the stream. Yep, we've got someone watching.
Oh, is it at least one? Yay, hello one.
We've had a massive one all night.
Ooh. Are we doing the prize draw at any point?
Yes, we can do it now, actually.
Yeah, now that I remind you.
Now that you've reminded me. So, we've got 4 names. First 2 are going to be for tokens, and the second 2 are going to be for upgrade kits. So, Stephen picking the first one. So, I'll put a set of tokens there, with the upgrades on the back. We have Cooper Lex. So, well done, Cooper Lex. I'll tag you in the post as well. So, they're yours. Second set of tokens. If Jack Wamper comes out of this, then I'm going to be...
You are welcome.
Chris, well done.
Why do you think I passed it to you?
Wow. I think it's a German name, and I'm not going to attempt that name on live stream and absolutely butcher it. So, Chris D, and not Chris D that we know either.
I'll give it a go. I'm going to say Duchess. I don't care.
It's got an N in there.
Yeah.
So next one is for a pack of upgrades.
Do. Harrison Sharp, I can read that.
Harrison. Well done, Harrison. Set of upgrade decals coming your way. If you just contact us, or I'll tag you in everything again. And last but not least...
Short name, I hoped it was Jack.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jack, you haven't won the second week in a row. Or third week in a row. We have Paul Dane, who wins another set of the upgrade decals. So what I'll do is I'll tag everyone that's won, and we're going to do another event next week. Along with it, I'm actually going to do a painting session next week, so we'll do another one along with that. So we'll get back to this and see how many crashes, bumps, and wallops we do here.
Yep.
So I'm going with inertia on both of mine.
So you're right. Wow. So you're going straight forward, yes?
Yes.
With 2 overboosts, yes. Oh, you do not. You don't have to do that one. That one has to be a 2.
That
right.
has to be a 2, and he's a double.
Okay, so I'm planning 2 manoeuvres. So the first thing to do is I have planned a change direction here with this one. So because I'm doing a change direction, I have to drift, and drifting uses this little template here. Okay, which is basically your ship moving from one point to the next.
Following its inertia.
Following its inertia. Now, depending on your kinetic energy, depends on how much it goes. So whether you go lengthways, like that, which I will be doing because I'm going very fast, or widthways, if you're going slightly slower. But I'm going. My kinetic energy is 6, so I'm going to be going
6.
the long ways. So I'll put that base up. So we set our new kinetic energy. So calculate that first. So mine's going to be 3 on this one. So you change it all now. You're following your inertia, so your kinetic energy is exactly the same.
Because no friction in space.
Yeah, and this one goes down to 5. Okay.
What do you teach at school?
Maths.
Yes, right.
So the first manoeuvre counts as a rotating or as a drift. So it goes like this. So this was the direction that the ship was going. So it goes from here to there, like so. What it then does is it now orientates itself where the outer ring points.
Would you like me to get that for you?
Yes, please.
To the 0 again.
Yes. And I believe I was this direction. That's why I was kind of trying to be a bit iffy about it.
Yes, you
yeah.
were.
So I was this orientation. So now my 0 manoeuvre marker is going that way. So I've now drifted that way, and my second manoeuvre will take me that way. This guy is doing an overboost. So he just goes from the front to there. But he's also rotating. So he does it after the first move. So he's rotating to the 10 o'clock position. Boop, boop. Like that. And that's him there. So now we've done our first manoeuvres.
So I'm going to do the first one of my inertial.
Though that's because you're pointing that direction.
But I'm also turning.
You're also turning. Yeah.
So I'm now going to do a typical Cylon manoeuvre. Point in that direction. This is if I knew you were coming.
Yeah. That's kind of funky.
I do like that.
And this guy, he does his first and only manoeuvre, which is just the 2 forward. And is he rotating at all, or is he staying as he was?
He rotates 1.
He rotates 1. Don't know if that's going to get me where you're at.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So
this one still has to go there, and this one still has to go there. But at the minute, everybody has opportunities to fire.
I am opting to take my opportunities because I'll probably be off the table with the inertia I've got going on.
Yeah. So you're going to shoot with this one first?
Yep.
So this one, again, from measuring from the stalk, it's going to be medium range. So my kinetic energy is 5. Your kinetic energy is 6.
6. 8s again.
So therefore, it's going to be 8s again.
8s
because of our modifiers. Oof, and he gets it.
With a 10.
Finally some damage. Okay. B will also take an opportunity to fire at him because
he can.
Sure. It's going to be the exact same because we're just trading shots.
8.
Yep, 5 or more. Damn, I was hoping it was 6. With a 4, which is not good enough.
So, I'll take the other pop shot.
Yep.
Which is going to be inertia 2
At
range band.
medium.
So
my inertia is...
7s.
Sorry, my kinetic energy is 4 or more, so therefore it's -1 for you.
So I need 7s.
So you need
because
7s.
I'm not going too fast. It's not short range.
Yep.
So
6s.
get a 6. Double 3, which in the extended rules has option.
Yeah, so if I wasn't going as fast as I was, that would have hit me. So again, adding that kinetic energy really does change the entire sort of thing.
Yeah.
So these 2 Salams have shot, B has shot, and A has
Still
basically
to shoot.
saying no, he's not shooting yet. But now we all execute our next manoeuvres. So I'm going speed 3 with this one. That's not how it works.
No.
Oh god. No, wait. No, this is how this one works because I didn't have an overboost. Because you rotated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has the rotate not got anything on the card?
On the card, no. It just goes there. And then it...
Ah.
So it's drift and then a whoosh. So I'm going to go whoosh. There. The boom. And then we will move this one. Well, we'll move your silent out the way.
Yeah. So
we'll line that one up there.
that's just a marker to put it in place.
And then you are going
3.
3 forward. And you've already done your rotate.
God, I should have just left that. I should have shot now.
Yep. There you go. My B to move, so he's doing a speed 2. I need to put my overbooster marker back.
It's definitely that edge.
I know, honestly, the fact that I've changed direction of the ship is really confusing. So I'm now going there to there. So I now end up like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has already shot, even though he's got a decent shot on here, so he can't do anything. This one, however, didn't shoot. Now he does get a chance to, and ooh, Nelly. So this one is short range. His kinetic energy is only 3, so I don't suffer any modifiers because I'm not going too fast.
But I'm still going 6.
But you do have high kinetic energy, so it's -1 for Lee, but it's +1
For you.
for me because it's close range. So
sixes.
it's back to 6s. And I get an 8.
And that is on A.
Yes.
Oh yes, right.
So yeah, so now is back to planning. So again, it's once you get your head around it, it is quite fast paced ish. Again, once you get your head around the maneuvers, or if you just keep going in a straight line and just point your guns at where you want it to be. So
Oh, I'm hoping that's... Nope, that's an... I'm hoping I'm doing this right. If not, it could be sailing off into the abyss.
yeah, well, wrong. Oh my goodness.
So that's that. Pew, 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 lesbians.
I agree with that statement. I apparently have one of your raptor thingies.
It's definitely not a raptor, it's a raider.
Raider. What's the... the raptors...
The other one that's coming out.
The colonial ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, again... The thing about the game is this part.
That drops to that. That drops to that. Oh, good. Let's have a time check because I think we're going to be touching the 2 hours by the looks of it.
Yeah.
We are, I don't know, hour and 40, so we've still got. We'll maybe get a couple of rounds of.
Yeah, so we'll do another round of
flying off
this,
the ball.
and then a quick roundup of like additional stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So B's inertialing again, and A is.
So A is doing the turning. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we do our first. We set our kinetic energy first, if applicable. So wait, you were going 6, but you're changing direction, so you need to do
that.
The drift.
Drop to 2.
Yeah, and then you drop to 2. He's following his inertia, so his does not change.
Staying at 2.
Mine is going to change to 2. 3 for B. And this one.
Do me a favour.
Yeah.
Stick it, lift it and spin it. 0 pointing to my finger.
There you go. Boom, boom. And this guy is doing... Oh yeah, I forgot he was doing that. Why is he doing that? This guy's doing a stop. Forgot about that.
Wow.
So A is doing a stop maneuver, which means he doesn't go anywhere. But I still set a card for it because the idea is you still set one. So he is done.
He's inertialing. I forgot to change his direction, which has just really worked out well.
Yeah. And this one is going 3 straight forward, following his inertia as well because he's on a 3. So he's going 3 straight forward, but he is going to change his direction back to the front. So the idea is I've whipped around, taken a shot, and now I'm back to the front. So this is me rotating my ship back to the original flight path rather than what we've been seeing over here where you move the base to point the way the ship has been going. So we get a first opportunity to shoot. I'm going to take one definitely with this one.
Same.
And
I'm going to shoot with both of mine.
Yeah, I will shoot with both of mine now as well.
Ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you very much. So we'll go with this guy.
Yeah.
Short range. So my kinetic energy is down to 3, so job's good.
I'm still 3.
And you're 3, so
2. Sorry.
2.
6s to hit.
So it's +1 to hit because it's short range. So it's 5s to hit. And a 10 will definitely do it. And this is on B who hasn't taken any damage anyway. But I don't think I'm going to get a crit. My other one will opportunity fire and we'll do it at normal range. My kinetic energy is 0, so it is just 6s.
6s.
And I get it on a 9.
These dice roll high.
Yeah.
I have to buy some of them. That's back on that one again.
That's on the same target as just now, yeah. Okay. Your raider, any particular order?
I'll go with the back one first.
Yeah. It's all simultaneous again. So this one is
just normal. 6s.
What's your new kinetic energy?
2s.
Yep. So it's just standard 6.
Has he? Oh, yeah, he's moved.
He's not. He hasn't fired. Oh no, everybody's fired and everybody's moved.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only this guy who moves again.
Which I should have moved with, but hit.
Yep. So hit. So damage on A. Which Cool.
Other one.
Yep.
5s.
To this one?
Yeah.
Yep, so 5s. 7. So this is on to B. Okay. So then you would finish executing this guy's second maneuver, having already shot. So you're doing the 2-1?
Yeah. Now
So you'd end up there. Yeah. So because Lee took his opportunity to shoot first, or before then, not realising just how close he would have been in this time.
I thought you still had to move, so that's why I thought
Yeah.
I might as well take it then. But it didn't make that much difference in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so do you want to do one more round? Or
One
do you,
more.
Do you want to talk about the other bits?
one more quickly. We've still got probably
Okay.
15 minutes left.
Is it because you want to try and kill a ship?
I just want to... I've had a plan for one of my ships doing something all the way, and it seems to be quite good. I've just realised what this is. Not to reference any game out there already, but this is like changing turrets
Yes.
in secret.
Yeah. Again, much narrower field of fire.
Yeah.
So because this guy did a stop maneuver, his kinetic energy is 0. So now I am limited to what maneuvers I can do. The maximum I can do is a 3 because my acceleration is only a 3. So I can't be doing any stupid. I'm going to be over here and turn backwards and things like that because I'm still trying to kick my engines in.
I'm enjoying the actual gameplay.
Yeah, the gameplay when you add in the turns and the more dice modifiers, it doesn't just seem like, oh, I'll point my ship at you and roll a 7.
Yeah.
Or a 6 even. Again, my main thing is just getting confused with all of the
Dial cards.
all of the dial cards, all of the maneuver cards.
Yeah. I need to sort my 2 decks out because I think I've got cards from each one in each.
Yeah. Which isn't too much of an issue because they're the same ships, so they've got the same maneuvers. In fairness, I imagine that the year are exactly the same. If we compared our Viper decks to the
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I thought the Viper might be more manoeuvrable, hence why having less acceleration and
yeah, because it seemed like that
structure.
was always like in the shows. That was always their thing. The fact that they were really good at pivoting and turning on the spot.
Yeah.
The fact that Raiders can do it as well is kind of a.
I can't. I'm gonna have to start watching the series again from the start.
I know, and watching it and being like, oh, you had so much potential. You could have been really good, and then you brought religion into it. Yay! A Cylon god. Whoop whoop. Because that's cool. You good?
Yes.
Yeah.
That looked confusing.
Yeah. So I'm doing some rotatings.
I'm doing inertialing again.
Okay, so we'll do. So this guy is staying still.
Right. So I will.
So right.
I'll
so
inertial
Yep.
this one to get him out of the way.
Yep. So
So-
he's staying still.
Yeah. But
So
I also need to.
rotate. Yep. What's this guy doing?
He's doing a 2 forward.
A 2 forward, right? So I'll move mine out the way here, and he's also rotating things round. So he's doing a 3 speed, which is the fastest he could do. Okay, this is 9.
Ship marker.
I'll just slide it under. So the one good thing about these templates being so
Thin.
small, set and thin, they can slide in underneath other things. So he's doing a 3, but he's also rotating to point out the back, trying to go for a bit of a shot on there. So his kinetic energy is back up to 3 because he's going quite fast. This Viper's kinetic energy has gone down to 0 because he's going to stop. So this card is just discarded, but he has turned around.
So I have also turned
To the 9 o'clock.
Oh crap.
No, what? No, what? No, you what? What? No, because your 0 is at the top.
Yeah, I went off the nodule.
Put it where you want. There you go. So, yeah, Lee getting the 0 and the dash mark at the front and back of the ship.
I don't know what you're on about.
Mixed up.
It's
Yeah.
quite late. It's fine.
So this guy stayed still, but he did rotate, knowing or hoping
For inertia to kick in.
for
Oh,
a
that way.
decent shot. Yeah, so I literally stopped and I'm pointing out the bum there.
Okay. That's a dead Cylon.
Yeah. So I'm now stood still in space. So in theory, my next turn I could stay still and just keep rotating around, and I'd just become a turret in space.
Kenneth love that.
Yeah, but now I am a sitting duck. I can't really do much about it. So we've dialed in our first manoeuvres. They're our only manoeuvres. So now we all get opportunities to fire. It's all simultaneous. So yeah, close range. So my kinetic for B is 0.
Mine are both 2s. So
Well,
it's
do you want
6s to hit you.
to...
-1 for range.
Minus 1 for range, so 5s.
5s.
Oh wait, sorry, actually if my kinetic energy is 0, you add 1 to your roll as well. So yeah.
6.
So I'm a lot easier to hit.
4s. So B takes a slapping.
So B takes a damage. Okay.
And the other one will shoot at B.
Yeah, it's going to be close range again, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's +2 to the modifier.
So 4 plus to hit.
4 plus to hit, which you get exactly a 4. So yeah, staying still can make a hell of a
Massive difference, yeah.
So that was a critical damage. Spoilers. Yep. So B will shoot at this one.
Which is A.
A. So close range. What's your inertia? Oh, your kinetic energy.
2s.
Sorry. 2. So mine. So it's close range. So I get +1.
5s.
But there's nothing else. So it's just 5s. Which I get a 10 again. Quite like that. Yes, I have claimed these dice.
I've got a confession to make.
What?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. Is it destroyed before I shoot with 4?
No.
Okay. 4 will shoot it, yeah? Same thing. My kinetic energy on 4 is 3, so it's absolutely fine. Why am I saying 4? Who the hell's 4? So 6, so I hit you.
It dies now because it was on 1.
Yeah. So this is actually a good way to end it. Both Apollo's Viper.
Oof!
Apollo's Viper and the Cylon Raider here have both been destroyed. And because it's all simultaneous fire, they're both destroyed at the same time. But so they're still alive to fire. So I actually died before then. But it's an exchange of a volley of fire.
So I took 8 in the last shot.
Yeah, I took 5 and 2, which is what did it.
22 damage you did.
Nice.
So I was on 14.
Yeah.
Literally one hole left.
So I was only on 8 at the beginning of that. But then from the one shot, 5 damage, which was critical, into another 2, which did it to 14. Wait. Yeah, did it to 14. Yeah. So some of the other mechanics, just talking about the simultaneous fire, there are... do you want to stop to the other camera?
Yeah.
There are upgrade cards that can go with... There are upgrade cards that can go with certain pilots. So these little things here. So again, people familiar with another kind of game, smaller size cards that are this. So these are all talents.
They seem to be half the size.
Yeah.
Strangely.
Yeah. So there was one that I saw, and I now need to try and find it in this mess.
What was it called?
It was called Marksman.
There it
Marksman. So, nope. It was called. It was something that Apollo had.
Daredevil,
No.
troubleshooter,
No.
good pupils, technical eye.
Maybe it was Marksman. Was it Marksman? No. There was one that essentially allowed you to fire before anybody else. So you were able to fire, and then if you obviously killed your opponent, then they wouldn't get a chance to fire unless they also had that talent as well.
So if it's on Apollo, it's going to either be Daredevil, exceptional pilot.
Oh, there we are. Quick shot. So you attack before any other pilot without this talent. Damage inflicted on opponents without this talent is assigned before they can attack. So essentially, if you've got this talent, you can fire, and you can hopefully kill an opponent before they get a chance to shoot. But there are loads and loads of other upgrades, as you can see. We haven't read all the rules for it. It does look like there are number values assigned to it in the corner. What those number values mean exactly, I'm not sure. It's possibly signifies what bracket they go into or how many certain ones can have.
Or competitive player points values. And they're going to follow another company for the pilots, where
Maybe.
the pilots aren't pointed, or your pilots are pointed free, and then they use.
But essentially, just in terms of the rule book, so we have kind of only really covered the quick play rules, which is these first few pages. So you see there how it's talking about the maneuvers, and then the firing and things like that. And then you've got the complete rules, which
The second game
is the second game that we played, which had the idea of kinetic energy, which is all of this. So you understand how it seems really confusing for the sake of change your number on the dial.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange. And then your... Okay, that's fine. And then your rotation, again, there was down from here, all the way down here, all the way there, and then, like, again,
Movement.
going back to talking about it, how it affects your movement as well. So it's a lot. So these are all the rules that we have used. So that's literally just over halfway of the book. So up to page 19, those are the bits that we've used. There are additional rules for different symbols on the damage deck, which we did not use simply because... Damage tokens, I apologise. So you've got things like you can have your pilot wounded, you can have your systems damaged.
So at the moment, from reading
damaged engine.
Yeah, you've got
Funny
damaged engine, damaged systems, wounded pilot, and hull damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got all of these optional rules. So these are ones that you can choose to have in or not. So you got the idea of aiming. If you are shooting at the same ship over and over again, you're going to get a better line of sight on it.
Yeah.
You got things like fuel. talking about that.
Rolling doubles.
Rolling doubles. Also, one mechanic we did not mention, but it has been mentioned on previous streams and things like that, is the idea of the heights. So when you get this, you will get, which is hidden under one of the base plates, which Lee didn't realise.
Yeah.
You get multiple of these pegs. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can adjust your level, which is this dial here that we didn't do. So because space is three-dimensional,
which
you
is
can...
strange when they've actually mentioned it as altitude.
I mean, relatively. Relative altitude. So you have different levels of combat. So if you were on level 1, but your opponent might be on level 2, then there might be different advantages and things like that for doing that.
We've also, if you pass the other range ruler over, you get 2 range rulers in, obviously, for 2 players. So one side looks like that, but the second side actually has the mechanics built in for height. So instead of it just being flat on the table, you can actually measure up levels, or as it was, so up a level or down a level. The mechanics are in there for measuring range from. I'm not sure where you measure range from.
It'll probably be it'll be the same thing, but the idea is that you'll measure it from the base,
the
but
peg
it's
of the
shorter
other one.
But it's shorter
away.
because it's
Yes.
actually, you're not firing a straight line, you're actually firing
Up or
more
down.
at an angle,
Yeah.
so your weapons range is less. But again, there is loads of other special rule mechanics that I haven't even got to read. There's
Asteroids and
there's
debris.
asteroid fields, there is dense asteroid fields, there's also little planetoids as well, so there's obstacles for you to be avoiding which can do different things. Again, all the bits on pilot cards here. So there is 2 pages worth?
Pilot tokens.
3 pages, 3 pages. Yeah, 3 pages worth on just characters on the pilot cards and the
talents that
they can have. So there's lots of additional bits there that again we have not even had a chance to read yet. And the last one is also the FTL, which again
we didn't even touch on.
We didn't look at, but that is one of the maneuvers that you can have on that you can set. So you can set your FTL, and then that uses some other gaming components that you've got. From the look of it, dice roll as well, so a bit of a randomizer. So that'll be interesting to try and incorporate all of those into it, because it was such a big jump from our quick game to right now you can turn and point.
Yes, it is going to be interesting. The more things that come out, I really fancy the scenarios that are going to come with it. I think the scenarios are going to be what drives the game.
Yeah. Again, I definitely see this as a casual fun game, which is not necessarily a bad thing because competitiveness can put people off. And again, I feel like in this game there is a lot of wiggle room and a lot of
trust.
Yeah, a lot of trust issues there that somebody could take advantage of in a competitive scenario, unless they have a way to monitor that. But again, it's just how do you do that effectively without it being too much of a chore. But again, as a game itself, I actually quite like it.
There might be a rule set that comes out for dedicated tournament level play where you don't hide your damage. Your damage comes out face up, that kind of thing.
So little things like that you can quite easily tweak.
I do understand. I like the fun aspect of hiding the damage, but I don't see a benefit of it other than concentrating on fire on something to get it out of the game. But even if you saw in that last game, I concentrated fire on one anyway.
Yeah.
I aimed for one, took one till it had gone. It could. I don't know when you declare that the ship is exploded or destroyed.
I didn't read it, but I think it's when it exceeds it. But because it's all simultaneous, I didn't bother.
It was just the only other thing I could see that the advantage being given to is if you've got 2 ships with guns up on that one, and then your other one is off there. If you pump the shots into that one with that one, that is then destroyed, and because of the rule you can't shoot through stuff.
Oh yeah, by the way, which we didn't declare, you cannot shoot through friendly ships. So if this one was here, this Cylon Raider could not shoot at this one. He'd have to shoot at his mate here, which again can add. So if this one is taking a lot of damage, you could sort of bring him in. Right, let's do some protection here, and prevent him from going bye-bye, while he can sort of bug out this way and maybe take on this one instead.
On the back of that is, if you know this one's low, you can shoot it with that one that you know's got the ability to kill him, then it frees up the shot onto the back one with that one.
Well, not when it's all simultaneous.
Yeah, that's
without the upgrade talent anyway.
Yeah, but is it removed?
Yeah, it's removed at the end of the.
Right.
It's all
okay,
simultaneous,
so, right.
and then damage is sort of like.
Yeah, so you
looked at.
You could basically put a dead ship in to block stuff while the other good ship's getting.
Yeah, but it dies at the end of the shooting bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good fun little.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping to keep up with releases and stuff like that.
Sorry, doing a biology lesson.
We've seen it in the TV series. So, Cylons or humans? Yeah, I'm Cylons. I'm sold on the Cylons. I'm probably going to buy all of it because they're amazing. The quality of that is.
Yeah, I was quite shocked.
That the level of detail on those ships is phenomenal. The Raiders have little fins down the backs of like a ribbing down the back, and I thought it was just a sticker. Stop it. But it's actually molded into it. The underside. They've upped the gaming quality in comparison to most of the other flight path system games out there. They're miles above things like the Star Trek one.
Well, yeah, because now you can paint your own Star Trek minis.
Yes.
Because people were doing that anyway.
Yeah, and I don't really think I'd want to repaint one of them. I'm not going to get the level of detail that they've got on the writing and stuff like that, and that is just a gorgeous. You know, I wonder if will those pegs fit the other game. Oh, there is they are keyed. It's just not a very strong key.
Yeah, it's got like a
half circle,
but it doesn't have.
And it doesn't point in the right direction.
Yeah.
So,
but it's fine.
These could actually be quite interesting for.
No.
I want 4 of them to replace TIE fighters.
So are we doing that whole like and comment if you want to see more games of Battlestar Galactica Starship battles?
No, what I'm going to say is we probably will look at it again. I'd like to get Steve back again at some point to try some, whether we just record it or whether we do it on one of the Wednesday live streams. I think having a better understanding and running a proper scenario might be a better option.
Yeah.
And obviously knowing the rules a bit better so we can play it quickly, or get another person in so I can actually commentate and.
You mean so you don't actually have to play the game?
Yeah, cause I'm coming out in hives playing games. As always, I'd appreciate people to subscribe to the channel. We're getting more and more people each day. We're getting more and more bits and pieces to review. We've got some stuff coming next week that we've been sent in to sit down and review. We've got a couple of airbrushes coming through. The more bits and pieces I can sit and do for you guys, the more I am going to do it. I'm actually enjoying it, which makes a strange change. We're also going to do some 40k live streams direct from Beanies. I'm going to try and set that up in the next couple of weeks for an event, and hopefully some Kill Team as well.
Yes, Kill Team, the game I have bought into and played one game of.
So
as usual,
we can do that as well.
Yeah,
I've got a full Kill Team board. Well, I've got 6 Kill Team boards for the weekend, and we'll go with that. So thank you everyone for coming and sitting through our babble as usual, and I'll be back next Wednesday for another session of, I think I'm going to do painting next Wednesday, and if Steve wants to do anything else during the week, we'll just do some recorded ones. I'm hoping for some get some of these weird things. I don't know,
Card games.
Card games.
Yeah.
The games that Steve doesn't play unless
I don't play card games. I play games that are based on video games, movies, TV shows.
Cool. So we've got.
And Keyforge. I
was going to say we've got a lot of packs of Keyforge coming in the next week. What we might do is get all the boxes, open them all, and see what's in them, and then go from there. So thank you everyone for watching. It's been great to have you here, and hope you enjoy your copies of Starship Battles when you get them. Good night, everyone.
Bye.